Welcome, Impactful Parents. It's time for the Impactful Parenting Podcast, where I give you parenting tips and resources to make you a more impactful parent to your school-age child. I am your host, Christina Campos. Welcome, Impactful Parents. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can help create safer roads and better teenage drivers, even if you don't have a teenager yet. Hello, my name is Christina Campos, and I'm founder of The Impactful Parent, and I help parents of school-age children turn their chaos into connection with their adolescent. I offer parent education videos every week, online courses, and coaching. And if that wasn't enough, I bring experts in other fields onto the Impactful Parent stage to teach you even more. And today I have a couple of special guests. Their names are Andrew Fullmer and Matt Carter. Now, Matt is a parent too, and not too long ago, he had a life-changing close call with an inattentive teen driver. And this incident opened Matt's eyes to society's need to make teens drivers more responsible and accountable for their driving. Now, immediately, Matt had this idea and called his friend Andrew, who is a visionary leader and proven successful businessman. And together, this dynamic duo launched a new product for parents called How's My Teen Driver? If you have a teen driver, then this episode is going to be for you. You need to find out all about this, so stay tuned. You're going to want to hear what Matt and Andrew have created. So thank you for being here. Awesome. Well, let's start with the story. How did this come about, Matt? What exactly happened?
You covered it. I mean, I was simply driving, and the car just started drifting into my lane. We were going the same way. It's drifting over, and I was watching him slowly get closer and closer. And finally, I beat my horn at him, and it wasn't as scary as people make it sound. But I ended up at the next stoplight, right next to this car. I look over, and it's just a kid, and he's got his phone out, and he's just texting. And I just was, both Andy and I, we have 15 and 16-year-olds in the house, and I just literally went, oh, I want to talk to your dad right now. Because as a dad, I would want to know if my kid was doing this, right? And so as I'm having that thought, I just look back forward, and I'm behind a work truck, and it had one of those "How's my driving" stickers on there. And I just went, they need that for kids, because this parent should want to know. And then I got home and Googled it, and it did not exist. So I called Andy and said, am I way off base here, or is this a great idea? And what we didn't know, we know kids are dumb drivers. They don't have good habits yet. Their frontal cortex is not fully developed. They're just not good at making decisions in general. So when we started doing research, we didn't even realize that the number one killer of teens in the United States is driving. And that's when we knew, we're like, oh, people aren't talking about this. We talk about drugs and alcohol and guns and all these other horrible things combined are equaling the numbers of just driving. And that's fatalities, not including just accidents. So that's when Andy and I were both like, this is huge. This is something we could really have an impact on, lives. So that's where it came from.
It was one of those aha moments where we paused and we're like, again, just logic. You're an adult, we're an adult. We as society don't even deem kids responsible enough to, as he just said, make decisions to buy firearms or alcohol or cigarettes. They can't even vote. But we've told the story so many times. We say this all the time. It's amazing as society. We're okay with just a few weeks of training and then putting in something that weighs 7,000 pounds that goes 160 miles an hour and say, let's go see what you can do. And thus those deaths just continue to climb. And we don't even talk about a lot of these podcasts that we do, or interviews or articles, and we've been blessed to have great conversations, it's not just the deaths, it's the wrecks. There's so many maiming deaths, or not deaths, but wrecks as well too. Hundreds of thousands of them. And again, for us, we're like, how is no one talking about this? So we're like, we need to put this business together right away and get it out on the road.
When I first heard about it, I also had that aha moment. I was like, oh my gosh, yes. Why hasn't this happened before? Because you do see the sticker on the back of semi trucks and other places. But my favorite thing about it when I first heard was finally a way to make teens accountable, because there's so much that a teenager does, excuse me, when they just don't think anyone is looking, and so this puts eyes on them all the time, which then puts them more vigilant and less likely to, do something stupid where they might take that chance in a different scenario when they think no one's around, no one's looking, and definitely it's not going to get back to their parents. So I just love the concept and this idea. Tell me more about what it is exactly.
It's the simplest thing possible. It is simply a bumper sticker, and it says, "How's my teen driver?" and has a 1-800 number on there that you can call. And all you have to do is you leave a voicemail. And with that voicemail, all you have to include is the license plate number and the message. Okay, so it's very simple. That message gets turned into digital, and we text it to the parent or the guardian of that child, whomever signed them up. It's that simple. So the idea is, hey, your kid just cut me off in traffic. I just think you want to know, right? Hey, your kid ran a stop sign, almost caused an accident. I thought you'd want to know, right? And so the idea here is when you have a consequence in life, it changes your behavior. The problem is in a car, the consequences are severe. Someone could die. You could total a car that your family needs. Your insurance rates are going to go through the roof. You could end up in prison. I mean, these are severe consequences. Kids are not used to those levels of consequence. Adults are, right? You got to pay the mortgage or you lose your house, right? We understand that concept. But kids haven't really dealt with these sort of large scale consequences where, oh, other people's lives are in my hands. The other drivers on the road are my responsibility also. So we call our participants and the community around them road guardians, because really all we're trying to do is make everybody safer. It's not rocket science. See something, say something. Call the number, leave a message for parents, and let them give a little consequence instead of a grand consequence, which is what the case is right now.
And that sticker has a few options. You can QR code, scan it, and then it goes right to it. You can text, you can call, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the key here is it's all anonymous. I don't know if you covered that. So you never know who the teen is. It's not registered. We've had that few questions with a few folks. Well, can they find out who my teen is, their name? None of that information's in there. They will never know who's reporting it, and you'll never know who you're reporting it to. It really is just a crowd, community sourced, real-time information. You can't be with your kid all the time, Christina. You just can't. Neither can Matt. Neither can I. So let's allow other people. There's thousands of other soccer moms and soccer dads out there that would go, man, if my kid was doing that, I would want to know. And that's really what we're just trying to do. The number one thing for all these deaths to continue to go up when we had the interview with AAA is they cited lack of parent involvement. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're trying to bring back is you can't ignore that. You can ignore the beeping because you're moving over in a different lane, but you can't ignore if you get an anonymous update. Just, hey, Matt, I just would like you to know this particular car went 80 miles an hour through the freeway past me. It's 60 miles an hour. Go cut through 2 or 3 people. That person doesn't have a interest to tattle on your kid. So that allows for that parent to have that teaching moment to grab the kid and go, what is this? And what are you doing? And as Matt said, those are severe consequences. You don't come back from that if you keep making those mistakes, but it allows that put that back on the parent because the community is letting them know how their kid's driving and say, what do we need to work on? Let's go drive this weekend and see if we can get you into better habits. So we live by the simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And so some people go, really, it's just a bumper sticker. Yes, we've kind of rewound the times. If you remember the baby on board sticker or Dare, we talk about Dare all the time, or Neighborhood Watch.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Those worked. They really did. And we've gotten so used to technology nowadays that it's just becoming white noise to us. Our phones go off, our cameras go off. We don't even check them anymore because it could be the wind, it could be a leaf, it could be whatever it is. And so we're getting numb to these sounds. So while it's cool, as you said at the start of the podcast, all this technology's out there doesn't work. We're so used to it. We're beeps and zips and buzzers. We're like, whatever. I don't even know what that is. But it's a different ball game when I get a message and like, why the hell my son was driving 106, like just blew past someone at 80 miles an hour. That's a big deal. That is a cause for pause and go, we need to fix something or you're not going to be able to come back from this.
Well, and the other thing I think, so like I have Life 360 for my kids and it'll tell me how fast they're going when they're driving and where they are. But I can break a lot of rules. I can be a real jerk on the road and not have broken a law, right? I mean, I can flip somebody off. I can, do things kids do. And I was a kid. I'm not even saying I was innocent. I'm just saying I was dangerous, right? I could have done a better job on, behind the wheel. So that's the concept here is, the tech is helpful. We're not saying ignore tech, but lean into community because community forever has raised children. Let's lean into that again. Tech has pushed us apart. We're trying to bring it back together a little bit.
When we talk about this, and people thought us cheesy when we first said it, but we really believe it. This is, as much as it is a product and a business we put together, we believe this is a movement. And it's going to take people like you, like us, thousands of other people doing interviews with us and content getting out there for people to go, holy smokes, I didn't even know this is an option. And that's probably the number one thing we get is when people hear it, they go, wait a minute, how's this not already been created? And then they go Google and look and I'm like, holy crap, this is not being created.
How come I don't hear about it?
And then same thing, they're like, they go Google, holy crap, it is the number one killer. It's not even close. Yet we don't talk about it. We talk about depression and we talk about anxiety and guns and school shootings. But when you go look at the numbers, it's not even close. And we just keep ignoring it.
Yep.
Now I'm going to play a little devil's advocate and say,
Sure.
Cars today, they have a lot of technology already in them. I know the car that I drive, which I will say most cars don't have all of that, but it stops for me. And it also, tells me when there's even two cars ahead, if there's something that's happening, and they're just so freaking smart nowadays.
Yep.
So why have this when our technology is getting that much better?
I'll give a simple answer and then Matt can go into what we found out with AAA, why these deaths keep happening, even with technology booming. You said it perfectly. You have that car. Most parents have that car. Most parents who can afford to get a car for the kid have the Mercedes, the Lexuses, the stuff that those cars have, but they're not buying them for their teens. They're not putting their kid in a $50,000-$60,000 vehicle that has all those perks. So,
and why are they not? Because they know how teens drive.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, so the tech has been growing in this space to improve safety for a long, long time. But what's ironic about it is, especially in the teen space, it's having a negative impact. All the tech that's in your car, with a few exceptions like the auto stopping, the tech in your car is actually a distraction. And distracted driving is the number one cause of accidents in the United States. So where we used to have, you could blindly reach down and find the volume button for your radio when we were kids. Now you've got a flush touch screen and you have to take your eyes off the road to navigate that. That's a distraction. And so we're trying to create good driving habits. So we call it the formative years, but anytime you're creating a new habit, what you do in the first 300 hours of that new activity, whether it be exercise or on a diet or whatever, that's the habit forming period. So the first 300 hours on the road are your habit forming hours that are going to form those behaviors for the rest of your life. So what we're trying to do is it's not a forever thing. You don't get this at 16 and you have it till you're 24, right? But that first year or so, when you're learning those habits of what it means to be an attentive driver, to not be distracted, to worry less about the radio, to pay attention to other drivers on the road, even now as a law-abiding citizen, Andy and I laugh about it, because if a cop pulls up behind me, I'm not even breaking the law. I'm going to stop light. I'm like, 10 and 2 and turn down my music and everybody be quiet. I don't, because you just don't want to deal with the hassle. That kind of behavior change that the sticker does for the kids is what adults feel when a cop, it's not that you're breaking the law. It's just like you become more attentive, right? And so that's what we're trying to get, is that a little bit of anxiety about, I'm away from my parents. I've got all that freedom. Let's add a little bit of accountability back in. We laugh because one of the commercials we have is you take your kid and you put them on a bike and they've got their training wheels, and you walk next to them, and then slowly when they get better, you take the training wheels off. And I remember running next to the bike next to my kid and picking them up when they fall over. What's the training wheels for car, right? You get your 8 hours behind the wheel with an instructor and some time with your parents, and then here's the keys. And so one of our commercials is dad running next to the car, like, hey, turn left, where's your blinker, look ahead. And it's just that we laugh at it, but that's really how we do things safely, is we let the rope out slowly. And this is one of those areas we just don't. We're just like, good luck.
I mean, Christina, you talked about it at the very start of this. For us, when we beta tested, when we knew we had something special, is what it was doing to those kids. It's the kids, the parents are handing the keys over and you finally have some, what's it called? Independence. Yeah. You can go out and the kids are excited about it. I mean, I got a team that's getting ready to drive right now and he's just geeked about being out there. But once you put that sticker on, say, hey, look, everyone else on the road now optically knows that you're a teen driver. They can let me know what you're doing. They can let me know if you're not using your blinker, if you're speeding, whatever it is. And across the board, when we beta tested it, all the kids are like, this isn't going to be fun anymore. Now I'm not excited. I feel like I can be tattled on. And that's when we went, holy smokes, we have something special here, because every kid is 10 and 2 using the blinker. Just like Matt said, it's the exact same scenario. When a cop pulls in behind you, you could have not gotten a ticket for the last 2 years. But why is it when a cop pulls in behind you, you're using blinkers when you typically don't use a blinker? You're merging out of stuff so slowly. You're pulling out a stoplight slowly. You're stopping way ahead. You're staying back. I think it's supposed to be 6 cars lengths behind. You're doing all the things that we're supposed to be doing. And that's the goal. That's the key. And Matt said it perfectly. We really just want this to be a training wheel. We don't think, because this is a subscription, there is no contract. You don't have to have it forever. It's month to month. We're really telling parents to lean into that. It could be on average a kid needing it for 9 months, 14 months, 6 months, just depending on their responsibility level. And so when they're ready, take the sticker off and they're off and going. But we think we've really created a second set of training wheels for kids. Again, it's goofy. We put them on a bike, have to have training wheels. We're all bad parents if we want it. You have a parenting podcast and everything else. Every parent listening to this, if they had a kid, would never put the kid on a bike without a training wheel. Why in the heck do you put them in a car without a set of training wheels? That's crazy. And so we can't say, well, the cars have all the technology. If that was the case, that wouldn't be the number one killer still nowadays. And we believe we have created the first of its kind that will do this.
It's an amazing tool. And I just want to emphasize the word tool for parents, because obviously you could ignore the text that you're going to get about your teen driver, but it's that seizing that opportune, teachable moment and being able to administer consequences for possible bad behavior, or just the start of a conversation of, this is what could have happened. Do you realize that? And people are watching. I think it's great. I think it's a great tool. I have a couple other questions for you about the product itself. Let's say for divorced families, I'm thinking in my brain, my ex-husband would love to get the same text. Is there a way to get the messages delivered to two people, or is it only the person who registers?
Yeah, so upon registration, it gives numbers. You can even include your child in there. So it gives options to adding different numbers. And I don't know what the limit is, honestly, but I know that you can add multiple different numbers in there that will receive that notification, and also emails, so you get to choose. You actually technically have to opt in to get the text, versus the email is automatic. But yes, you can add multiple phone numbers in there.
And some parents would like to know that when something comes through, I want my kid to feel it. So the kid's like, uh-oh. Mom and dad just got this exact same, like they know I was just going 60 in a 30.
Busted.
And this mom just went and got me, and now I'm toast.
Oh yeah, so, the anticipation.
Yeah.
Going home.
Yep.
Gotta love that. You had mentioned a little bit about that it's a monthly subscription, and I just want to reiterate that if anybody had missed it. And how much does this cost then if it's a monthly subscription? It doesn't sound like it has any contract to it. I think you said that too.
Correct. Yeah. So it's $20 to enroll, and we call it your sticker kit, because you get your main bumper sticker plus a couple QR codes that can go around the car. So like in the case where it was invented from, I was next to this car. I couldn't see the license plate number, so I could just scan the QR code at that stoplight. So you get a couple of those. Those are optional to put around the car. And it's $20 to enroll. That gets that delivered to your home. At the moment you enroll, your sticker kit goes live. So you are technically paying, I guess, for 2 days. And that's $8 a month. You can cancel anytime.
You can sign this up for anybody. Obviously, we're promoting teens, and this is a teen focused thing, but could you possibly do it with anybody?
You technically could do it.
You're registering the car, not the human. There's
no registration of the kid, their information. That's perfectly said. It's just the vehicle that you're registering. Not to be repetitive, but we're like, so we know that as a society, you can't vote because they're not going to let you vote because your vote's going to count for nothing. You know nothing. Love you to death. I got a teenage boy, but they know nothing. Can't get a firearm because my gosh, what would happen there?
Can't go 2 minutes without answering a text.
Yeah. Cigarettes, nope. Getting you inebriated with alcohol, oh my gosh, you guys make terrible decisions. So as a society, we know this, we deem this. We're like, this just makes sense. We all voted, let's not let them do anything till they're north of 18 and 21 for other things. But in Idaho, at 15, they can get their driver's permit.
And drive without a parent.
And drive.
Wow.
And then we're trusting enough. They're like, go ahead and throw them on the road with us.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing we don't talk about. It's not just the deaths of the teens. That's just the teens that pass away that are leading. Who are the other families they're harming? Who are the other people that they hit that got in the wreck as well, too? And we're not even talking about that.
No.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. It definitely is rarely just affected by one person. It is
correct.
Usually you run into somebody else, not just a wall,
Yep.
a pole, whatever, curb. It's a real eye-opening discussion, and I appreciate that. I'd like to end with a comment from both of you on what you've learned on this journey now that it has been launched.
We talk about it as the most important thing no one knows they need, right? And so because we as a community or as a society don't talk about teenage deaths as it relates to driving very often, we talk about the more dramatic ones, the school shootings, drugs, suicide, depression, all those, and they're all horrific. We're not trying to minimize anybody's pain. But this is one where you just assume it's not going to affect you until it does. And when it does, it's a catastrophe, right? And so every conversation we have is like this, where people just, you watch them have that, we watch them have that aha moment where they're like, holy cow. And they get on, they're like, you're right. That really is the number one killer of teens. We're like, well, we weren't lying. It is a really, really important issue that we're trying to get people aware of. So that, I mean, our target, just so you know, is our goal is by 2025 to have, you won't know who you're saving, but have the national death toll from teenage drivers go down by 1,000 people annually. That's our target. And so we won't know the families. No one will ever know we did it. You'll just see the trend change directions. That's our target.
The parents that already have this implemented, they're loving it. You're getting really good feedback.
We get no negative feedback from the families. Well, the kids don't like it because they're less cool, right? But I told my kids, like, you got braces. Braces aren't awesome, but it's the end result that you're concerned with. So you put braces on your face and you deal with it for a little while, and then you look at that beautiful smile, right? And that's the end product. This is the same. This is, yes, it's not your favorite thing for 6 months, a year, year and a half, whatever it is. I'm the dad, and I say this is what's going to happen if you want to get behind the wheel. And the end result being you're going to make it to 18 and have some good driving habits, and we'll all be a little bit more comfortable at least.
Again, we have kids that grew up similar age, both started driving at the same time. And I was like, this is scary as heck. And if you've never had a kid get ready to drive, all of it pales in comparison. It's not even close to when all the stuff they go through. They're going to go to kindergarten. They're going to do this first sport, first this, first house, first breakup,
Those all
whatever.
feel positive.
Whatever. See, that is, we knew we'd give peace of mind to the parent because they could say, okay, now I can send my kid out, and there's thousands of other mom and dads out there that can watch out for my child. I can't always be with them. We also then found out very early what it's doing for the kid, that it's like internal. The kid's like, gosh, now I got to drive perfectly or I'm going to get tattled on. I just don't want to deal with that. But it was eye-opening for us to like what it's doing for the community. And that's where Matt talked about, we coined this term called road guardians, where, again, not to be long-winded, but in every place you take your child, whether it's church, there's a pastor or a bishop or someone there. School, there's a principal, there's a teacher, someone there. Sport, there's a coach, someone there. You take it, someone to dance, there's an instructor, whatever. There's always some sort of guardian to look out for them and guide them and help them. And the most vulnerable place you can put your kid is on the road. That for us, that community, that bubble wrapped around the kid. And as the bigger this gets, the bigger it's going to get, the more it gets out there.
Because I'm thinking about it, and it does take a village, right? We always say that as parent coach, it takes a village. And here finally you have that village on the road, right? Just as you said, when your child's very vulnerable and very alone. So now they don't have to be alone. It's awesome.
The road guardian thing, I think that's really important. You may not participate in the program. You may not have a team, whatever, but you can still participate in helping.
Yes.
And that's what we're saying is you're a road guardian too. You may not have known it before now, but now you know you're a road guardian. You see that sticker, you're looking out for this. This is a vulnerable human. You're just keeping an eye out. It's one of those things. It's protection.
Tell us, how do we get a hold of this amazing product?
Just howsmyteendriver.com. Super easy, super clean website. You can go right to it. It's 2 or 3 clicks and you're checked out. You're done. I think for someone to actually go and put their credit card information, we timed it like a minute, and 30 minutes out you go. So super easy.
Well, this is super exciting. And I hear that you have a special bonus for our Impactful Parent listeners.
Yeah, we're just trying to spread the message. So if you go to our website and on checkout in the discount code, just put impact23, all uppercase, we have 10 free giveaways. So the first 10 people who move on that get it for free. It's full for a lifetime. So as long as that sticker's on your car, someone can call you in.
That's awesome. Well, parents, you heard it here. I'm so excited about this. for everybody, like you said, as a whole community, for us looking out, for us who have parents with teens, all of us. Like, this is just a great resource for everyone. So thank you for being here and creating this product. I hope this episode brought value to your day. And to become a more impactful parent, download the Impactful Parent app. The Impactful Parent app is free to download and full of episodes just like this one to help you in your parenting journey. So carry help, tips, and parenting resources right in your pocket so that you can refer to it when you need it most. Plus, the app is free, so you're just getting a free parenting resource. You can't go wrong. Go to your phone's app store, look up Impactful Parent, and I'll be there. Or you can go to theimpactfulparent.com and download the app from my website. But until next time, you got this, parents. I'm just here to help. Thank you for listening today. Remember to subscribe and share this podcast with a friend. And don't forget, the Impactful Parenting Podcast is an extension of the Impactful Parent community. Go to the Impactful Parent website and download the free Impactful Parent app so you don't miss a parenting tip that can help you and your family. Thanks for listening today. So go to theimpactfulparent.com and see you next episode.